And I told that in the geocentered system, we believe that Earth is the center of the system. Let us see the next slide. I also told you that out of the energy and matter available, almost 96% is either dark energy or dark matter, which you cannot see, and only 4% is the light which we see and the material which we see. The dark matter is contained in the black holes. Black holes, I told that the stars, when they get aged, their death ends in black holes. Their death means they will first become a brightened star, which is called nova, and then they will become still brightened, which is called supernova, and then they become reddish in color, and that reddish color is called red star, and after that they become what is called the black matter. See the next slide. So we were discussing about the position of the Earth with respect to the other planets. I told that we had a planetary system of 9 planets earlier. Nowadays, the last planet, Pluto, is taken as an asteroid, not as a planet. Asteroid is nothing but which moves around a planet. See the next slide. And of course, Aristotle was the teacher of Alexander the Great. When Aristotle believed that Earth is a center, that is what is called geocentered system. The other system is what is called sun-centered system or the heliocentric system. See the next slide. I told that distance normally we measure with respect to the speed of sound. It is what is called light year. Light year is nothing but the distance light can travel in 1 year. The speed of light is 3 lakhs kilometers per second. 3 lakhs kilometers per second means it can take so many rounds around. You know that the radius of Earth is 6370 kilometers. That means the outer peripheral distance of the Earth is only less than 20,000 kilometers. You know, pi d is the outer periphery. So around 40,000 kilometers is the peripheral distance of, or the outer distance of the Earth's surface is only that much. That means around 8 times light can travel around the Earth in 1 second. By the time you blink your eye, light can travel around the Earth 8 times, more than 8 times. Okay, but we cannot travel that much fast. Even speed of sound is only 330 meters per second. Meters. That means it takes roughly 3 seconds to travel 1 kilometer. Speed of light. The speed of sound. Whereas speed of light is 3 lakhs kilometers. Speed of sound, it takes 3 seconds to travel even 1 kilometer. Speed of sound. So we have got supersonic jets, supersonic aeroplanes are available. That means the speed is more than 1 kilometer in 3 seconds. That is called supersonic. But normal aeroplanes are not that much high. Normal aeroplanes speed will be how much? Anybody knows what is the normal speed of our ordinary jumbo aeroplanes? Anybody who has traveled by aeroplane? Anyone who has traveled by aeroplane? No one. Just put a message whether somebody has traveled by aeroplane. Yes. Tanvir says usually up to 900 kilometers per hour. Yes, you are right. Supersonic speed means 0.33 kilometer speed of sound into 3,600 means how much? It is very near to 1,200 kilometers per hour, supersonic speed of sound. That is why aeroplanes are normally less than that. So around 900 to 1,000 kilometers per hour is a usual speed. It is called subsonic speed, below the speed of sound. Sound, normally we classify as sonic sound, subsonic sound, and supersonic sound. Sorry, supersonic speed, not sound. Sonic speed, subsonic speed, and supersonic speed. Sonic speed means the speed of sound, which is around 330 meter per second, or it means around 0.33 kilometer per second. Okay, only that much. So how much is the difference between speed of sound and speed of light? Speed of sound is only 300 or 0.33 kilometers. Speed of light is 3 lakhs kilometers in 1 second. That means it is almost 1 million times the speed of sound. The speed of light is. Speed of light is nearly 1 million times. 1 million means roughly 10 lakhs. 1 million times the speed of sound is the speed of light. Now, can you tell me what is the reason? Yesterday there was heavy thunder and lightning. Heavy thunder and lightning was there in Palghat area. Many times you see the lightning, a big flash of light, but it takes seconds and seconds for the thunder to be heard. What is the reason? Anybody? A common sense question. You would have studied sometimes in school. It takes only a fraction of a second to see the light. Yes, Amina is telling. Light travels almost 1 million times faster than sound. What height this lightning and thunder is occurring at what height? Any idea? What is the height? What is the height of normal an aeroplane flying? An aeroplane flies at what height normally? A jumbo jet, say 737 or 747, flies at what height approximately? Samina has told that speed is around 900 kilometers per hour. I accept. What height normally a jet plane travels? Normal travel, not climbing and ascending and descending. No. Normal travel, what height it travels? 40,000 feet is what Tanvir says. You are right, Tanvir. 40,000 feet will be around 1,300, around 13 kilometers. Yes, 38,000 feet. These are all right. Chelsea is saying 38,000 feet. Right. Normally, a jet plane travels between 7 to 14 kilometers height. 7 kilometers to 14 kilometers height. Each kilometer you can convert to the feet. You know that 1 meter is roughly 3.3 feet. So if you multiply that much by 3,300 feet, you will get the height. 10 kilometer means around 33,000 feet, roughly, approximately. So you can take on an average 10 kilometers the height at which planes do fly. What is the height of the clouds? Anybody? How much is the height of the cloud? Plane flies at 10 kilometer height. What is the height of the cloud? Anyone? All of you will be flying by flight in your future because we are all going to be engineers, and engineers have to go around the world for different capacities and different purposes. So you will definitely travel in flight, I know. What is the normal height of the clouds? The clouds will be above the aeroplane or below the aeroplane? Tell me that first. Yes, Samina is right. The clouds are always below the aeroplane. So only while climbing and while descending, you will cross the clouds. Very rarely clouds do go up to the path of the aeroplane. Very rarely. Normally clouds will be at around 1 to 5 kilometers height. Normally 1 to 5 kilometers. Below 1 kilometer, very rarely clouds do come. But you can see clouds at places like Ooty and Kodaikanal. Why? Because the height at Ooty and Kodaikanal is always above 1 kilometer from the mean sea level. That is the reason. Anybody knows what is the height of our place above the mean sea level? Height of Ahilya above the mean sea level. Anybody knows? I told that Ooty and Kodaikanal, they are more than 1 kilometer above the mean sea level. What about the height of Ahilya campus above the mean sea level? Anyone? No idea. It will be 100 plus meters only. 100 plus meters. Between 100 and 150 meters will be the mean sea level of different locations in Ahilya. So in very tall places, the Sahyadri ranges, many places, in Attapadi, in Ooty, of course the highest point in South India is in Ooty. You must be knowing that. And of course the highest point in Kerala is in Anamalai region, Parambakkula Anamalai region. So these places it goes above 1 kilometer height where clouds may be possible. That is why we see clouds there. Now coming to the galaxy, our galaxy is very huge. Comparatively, it's a small galaxy. Comparing with the other galaxies in the universe, ours is a very small galaxy. But even that galaxy, to travel from one end to the other end in the diameter, it takes 1 lakh light years. Means how much? 1 lakh light years means 1 lakh into 365 into 24 into 60 into 60 into 3 lakhs. Those many kilometers, because 1 light year is normally 9.46 trillion kilometers. 9.46 trillion kilometers. See, so next slide. This one we discussed in the last class, and I have told specifically the most abundant metal on the Earth's surface is aluminium, and the most abundant element on the Earth's surface is oxygen. See the next slide. So this also I explained. It's what is called the cloud theory, which I'm not going to explain again. Next slide. Cross section of the Earth also I told. The outer crust is lithosphere, and coming down it goes up to the interior. Interior, is in a molten stage, which is called magma. See the next slide. Again, next, this also we have discussed. Next one. This also we have seen. What is this one? Previous one. Previous one is where we stopped. I told that the Earth is having magnetic field. That is an induced magnetic field from the sun, because sun is what is called solar wind, which is a magnetic wind. And that wind magnetizes the Earth. That is why Earth is having magnetism. Magnetism and gravitation are different. Gravitation is the attraction between two bodies in space. That is what is called the gravitational theory put forth by Sir Isaac Newton. Isaac Newton says that when two bodies are at a distance, they develop between them an attraction which is called gravitation. So they pull each other. That is why gravitational pull is between sun and the earth. And we can feel it on the earth. That will be, that the gravitational pull will be how much on the earth? Any idea? That is a constant small g. 9.81 kilogram force per square centimeter. That is a g. That is a gravitational pull which the sun is exerting on the earth. But magnetism is something different. Magnetism is caused by the magnetic wind from the sun, which magnetizes the earth. So earth is magnetized, and it has, like every magnet, it has two poles. Every magnet will have two poles, north pole and south pole. Similarly, the earth is also having its north pole and south pole. The north pole will be on the upper side of the earth. You know, earth is not horizontal in space. Earth is supposed to be tilted in the space. So if you see the earth moving in the space, you will see that it is a bit tilted. So the upper pole on the earth is called the North Pole, and the lower pole is called the South Pole. Okay, so that magnetism transmits to everything on the earth, even to the materials on the earth. And some of the materials, once such magnetized, they retain the magnetism. They are called natural magnets. Can you give an example of a natural magnet? Any material which can get magnetized? You would have seen natural magnets. Natural magnets are basically which materials? Anybody? In your childhood, you would have played with the natural magnets, not electromagnets. Electromagnets are there in machines and all. In a generator or in a motor or in a turbine, we have got electromagnets which are working with electricity. But natural magnets, the horseshoe magnet, the simple magnet which we use for plucking the scrap, you would have played with magnets in your childhood. Basically, what are these magnetic materials? Anybody? No one has got any comment on what is magnetic material? Natural magnets? Of course, electromagnets are when you conduct. Pardon?
The ferromagnetic.
Yes, furrow. Furrow means what?
Iron.
Furrow means what?
Iron.
Iron. Yes, that is right. Samina is very right. Iron compounds are having the property of natural magnets. Iron compounds. That property of iron can be eliminated by mixing with external elements and making it steel. So stainless steel will not be magnetic, but iron and many of its compounds with a light impurity, or many of the iron compounds with light impurity, are basically natural magnets. And electromagnets are those which are conductors. In the presence of an electric field, they become magnets. That copper can be made electromagnet, iron can be made electromagnet, aluminum can be made electromagnet. Which are the materials you use for coils? For motor coils, which are the materials you use? I think you should be able to tell. Electronics people should tell me which are the elements they use for making electromagnetic coils. Anyone? You have seen so many electromagnetic coils. Anyone? Otherwise, it will be a shame for the EC people. EC, I am not asking the CSC people. EC people are more dealing with electromagnets. Every electronic equipment will have an electromagnet. A television, for example. In the old CRO television, the electrons were emitted by an electromagnet there. Of course, in the LCD, there is no electromagnet, but still. Most of the electronic equipments used to have an electromagnet. Even a speaker, a microphone. Microphone is having an electromagnet.
So insulated copper wires.
Copper wires. Copper wire is one example. Then, only copper?
In some cases, aluminum wires.
Aluminum wires are there. Then, you are right. Copper, aluminum. Then, any more? Yes, Vishnupriya has written aluminum and silver. You are right, Vishnupriya, silver is also used. Then, Chelsea has written iron. And Jayadeva has written fan coil. Now, fan coil is what material? What is Jayadeva, what is a material with which a fan coil is made? I agree, fan has got a coil. It's an electromagnetic. That is why the fan is rotating. Fan is rotating because its hub is kept in an electromagnetic field. That is why a conductor is kept in an electromagnetic field, it starts rotating. That is known by which law? Electronics people tell me. A conductor is kept in an electromagnetic field, it starts rotating. Which law it is? Samina, which law?
Law of Newton induction.
Pardon?
Law of induction. Induction.
Which law it is? Which law? Which rule?
So Faraday.
Faraday's law. Right. You're right. Vishnu Priya has already written Faraday's law. Right. So fan coil is copper. I agree. Fan coil is copper. So copper, silver, iron, aluminum. These are the most common conducting materials used for making an electromagnetic coil. See the next slide. And obviously, when the solar wind is changing, I told that the Earth's magnetism changes by the solar wind. When the solar wind is having changes, the mood of the individuals also will change. You know that every activity in the human being is rhythmic. There are different types of rhythms in the body. There are daily rhythms which are called diurnal rhythms. There are monthly rhythms based on the lunar movement. They are lunar rhythm. Daily rhythm is based on solar movements. So solar rhythms are there. Most of the monthly body rhythms are based on the lunar movements. So lunar rhythm means moon-based rhythms are there, and annual rhythms are there. That is based on Earth movement. Earth completes one rotation annually. So the annual rhythms in the human body and the climate. So we may have daily rhythm, monthly rhythm, and annual rhythm. These are the normal three rhythms which every living organism on this earth can be susceptible to. So that is why every day you wake up at a particular time, you sleep at a particular time. This all relates to what is called the daily rhythm. You feel hungry at some time, you feel like taking lunch at some time. So daily rhythm is very active. And the reproduction system of every animal and every living organism is based on the monthly rhythm. It's a lunar rhythm, 27, 28 days rhythm. And the annual rhythm is based on most of the climatic changes. Climatic changes in the system, especially the summer, the winter, etc., is based on the annual rhythm. The wind system is based on the annual rhythm. So that is about the rhythms in the nature on earth. Now coming to the next thing, this is this is an in-depth map of the world. You see on the left side, you can see the American continent, and on the right side, you can see an African continent. In between, if you see thoroughly with a high quality telescopic view, you can see the sea is having an elevated portion in between, which indicates that the two continents, the American continent and the African continent, were close to each other. See the next slide, you will understand it better. Next one we will see, and then come to this one. Next one. Yes, this is the point. Actually, millions of years back, the earth was like this. The earth was a continuous land area. You know how much is the land area on the earth? How much percentage of earth is land and how much is ocean? Anybody? How much percentage of the earth is land and how much percentage is oceans? Anyone? You can put in the chat box. I am seeing the chat box. Otherwise, I will ask you by name. You want chat box, or you can just tell me how much percentage of the earth is land and how much percentage is oceans? Amrita says 29, land 29. Yes. Samina also says land 29. So many are saying. Amita, Sri Lakshmi, Samina, Jisi. Aditya says 71% ocean. That is same. 29% land means 71% has to be ocean, naturally. Yes, it is true. 71% is ocean. So easy to remember, we say 70-30. Actually, 70.8% is ocean and 29.2% is land. You can approximate to 71-29 or 70-30. That means majority of the Earth's surface is ocean, not land. And the land, millions of years ago, the land was in this shape. You see, it is written on the left side, Pangaea, P-A-N-G-A-E, Pangaea. On the right side, that name is called Panthalassa. That is missing in this diagram. I have taken this diagram from a net. So that Pandalasa word is missing here. So you can remember it. PanthaLassa. Pandalasa. Pandalasa and Pangaea were the only two parts. And it is believed that millions of years ago, these two, Pandalasa and Pangaea, spread across. They detached from each other, and through the gaps of, see, all these are on plates on the surface. That plate movement is what is called, that those plates are called tectonic plates. Tectonic means related to the surface of the earth. So the tectonic plates did slide each other. They did slide each other and they got separated, and that is how we got the 5 continents. Which are the 5 continents? America on the left side, Europe on the right side, Africa below that, Asia on the right side, and the lowest near to Antarctica, the Australia Antarctica region. Australia is supposed to be the next continent. Okay, it connects to Antarctic region. Okay, so we do have the 5 continents, Pancha Maha Bhugandanga, and all these things in between have oceans, so we call them by different names. We call them the Pacific Ocean. Pacific means very cool, calm, very silent or calm ocean. That's what Pacific. Then the Indian Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean. These are the 3 major oceans. Atlantic Ocean separates America and Europe, and or America and Africa. And Indian Ocean separates Africa and India. And the Atlantic Ocean, sorry, the Pacific Ocean separates India and the America. Or you can say, if you take Atlantic Ocean as the left one, the leftmost is Atlantic, left to Europe, then right of it is the Indian Ocean, and right of it is the Pacific Ocean. So we have got 3 major oceans. But we make it again 5 major oceans because we add Arctic Ocean and Antarctic Ocean to it. That is how we make it 5. So we say 5 big continents and 5 big oceans. Okay, it is clear now. Only 3 major oceans are there, the Pacific, the Atlantic, and the Indian Ocean, but we say Arctic and Antarctic added to that. So Pangaea and Pandalasa separated, we don't know how many years back, but you have seen a name, Wagner, before this one. He is the person who postulated it has happened like that. But when we see the shape of the continents and the shape of the sea, take for example, where is the highest mountain peak? Which is the highest mountain peak? Anybody?
Mount Everest.
Mount Everest. But I don't agree with you. How high is Mount Everest? Etra pokkondu Mount Everest ne? Any idea roughly? Rough idea. How much is Mount Everest? Chelsea also has written Mount Everest. Chelsea can just write down. Or who told Mount Everest? I couldn't identify the voice. Who told Mount Everest? Ara peri paranjathu.
Samina.
Samina and peri paranjathu. Chelsea has written Mount Everest is 9,000 feet. That is wrong. Chelsea തെറ്റിപ്പോയി. സമീന ആലോചിച്ച് നോക്കും മൗണ്ട് എവറസ്റ്റിന്റെ പൊക്കം എത്രയാണെന്ന്. Chelsea calculation ഇത്തിരി mistake വന്നു. It is not feet.
So more than 25,000 feet.
Yes, more than 25,000, 25 അല്ലെ 27 and 29 എടുത്തു വരും. 8,900 meters ആണ്. Chelsea is very close to the value, but it is not feet, it is meter. You are right. Nearly 8,890 meters. 8,900, or you can approximate 9,000 meters. Each meter is 3.3 feet. അപ്പോൾ 9,000 3.3 കൊണ്ട് മൾട്ടിപ്ലൈ ചെയ്താൽ എത്ര വരും? It's around 29,000 something. Am I right? അത്രയും ഫീറ്റ് ആണ് എവറസ്റ്റിന്റെ ഹൈറ്റ്. But remember, the highest mountain is in the Pacific Ocean. 18 kilometers high. 18 കിലോമീറ്റർ പൊക്കമുള്ള ഒരു പർവ്വത നിര പസഫിക് ഓഷ്യനിലുണ്ട്. It is more than twice the height of Mount Everest. Can you believe it? ഇപ്പൊ ഏതാണ് the highest mountain is in Pacific Ocean, but not on land. So that is an indication that some of the regions in the ocean was in between that in Pangaea breakup. When Pangaea break up, some mountains were formed on the ocean floor, Pacific Ocean. Of course, even the tip of that ocean is kilometers below the surface. That is why ships are not wrecking. Shipwreck is not happening on that mountain. It is far, far below the surface of water. So no danger. Only if you go downside to investigate, you can see that mountain. So now you understood. There has been two big continents earlier. They were called Pangaea and Panthalassa. Now it has broken into 5 continents and 5 oceans. See the next slide. See, it shows how the previous one. Again previous. Yes, this one. You see how the continents have broken up. That is showing. You can see the continent breakup line. That shows the boundary of each plate now. See the 5 continents which have broken up. Obviously, in this one, the North America and South America are shown separately. Africa is shown separately. Asia is shown separately. The dark lines indicates the boundaries of the tectonic plates. So tectonic plates means, India is supposed to be on a separate plate. And of course, Australia is supposed to be on the same plate with New Zealand and such places. So these are the plates now. And at the bottom side, you can see the Antarctic plates. So these are, I told that it has divided into different tectonic plates. So North America is a tectonic plate. South America is a tectonic plate. Eurasia is a tectonic plate. Arabia is a tectonic plate. India is a tectonic plate. Africa is a tectonic plate. That means these may move relatively in future also. For example, when the plates on the surface move, the difference between the continents may reduce. So these plates will press each other and new mountains may form. ഈ പ്ലേറ്റുകൾ മൂവ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ഇത് അങ്ങോട്ടും ഇങ്ങോട്ടും പ്രസ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് പുതിയ മൗണ്ടൻസ് ഉണ്ടാകാം, പുതിയ റിഡ്ജസ് ഉണ്ടാകാം, പുതിയ വാലീസ് ഉണ്ടാകാം. That is shown in the next sketches. See the next sketches? Yes. That shows the relative movement. 2 plates അകന്നകന്ന് പോവുകയാണെങ്കിൽ എന്ത് പറ്റും? There will be break in the lithosphere. Oceanic break will be there because they are separating. If they join together, that plate will come up. That is what is called mountain. But എങ്ങനെയാണ് mountains ഉണ്ടാകുന്നത്? How the mountains are formed? From this much I have told you can tell me. ഒരാൾ പറയും എങ്ങനെയാണ് പർവ്വതങ്ങൾ ഉണ്ടാകുന്നത്? How mountains do form? So at the end of listening to Ramayana, at least you should know who killed whom. So how the mountains are formed, ഒരാൾ പറയും എങ്ങനെയാണ് പർവ്വതങ്ങൾ ഉണ്ടാകുന്നത്? There is a very famous novel by Anand, മരുഭൂമികൾ ഉണ്ടാകുന്നത്. Similarly, you can say പർവ്വതങ്ങൾ ഉണ്ടാകുന്നത്. How the mountains are being formed. Anybody? ആരെങ്കിലും പറയൂ. Plates തമ്മിൽ കൂട്ടിയിടിക്കുമ്പോൾ, for example, the Himalayas have been formed when the Indian plate and the Eurasian plate collided each other. മനസ്സിലായി? 2 പ്ലേറ്റ് തമ്മിൽ പ്രസ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ, അത് ഉദാഹരണം വേണമെങ്കിൽ നിങ്ങളുടെ കൈ ഇങ്ങനെ കൂട്ടി പ്രസ് ചെയ്ത് നോക്കൂ. കൈ ഇങ്ങനെ വിരലിന്റെ അറ്റം ഇങ്ങനെ കൂട്ടി പ്രസ് ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ കുറച്ച് കഴിയുമ്പോൾ നിങ്ങളുടെ കൈ ഉയർന്നു വരും. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് 2 കൈയിലെയും വിരലുകൾ തമ്മിൽ കൂട്ടി പ്രസ് ചെയ്താൽ കുറച്ച് കഴിയുമ്പോൾ വിരലുകൾ പൊങ്ങി വരും. That is how the mountains are formed. See the next slide. This shows how the mountain is, you see, collisional mountain. Himalaya is supposed to be a collisional mountain. Alps is supposed to be a collisional mountain. Whereas the mountain in the Pacific Ocean is not a collisional mountain, it's a separation mountain. When the plates got separated, that mountain formed inside. So there can be collisional mountains and separational mountains. See the next slide. I think this is the last one. One more is there. These are all examples of tectonic movements. Okay, next one. Slides are over now. Let us go to the next topic. So, in this session, what we have been discussing, we are going to the next topic. I remember each session, what all things we discussed in this session. This session was on Earth as a system. What things you have studied in this session? Chelsea, please write down 3 things you studied in this session. ഒന്ന് എഴുതിയിടൂ ചെൽസി പഠിച്ച 3 കാര്യങ്ങൾ. രേവതി also please write 3 things you studied in this session. ഈ സെഷൻ എന്താ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് മനസ്സിലായെന്ന് അറിയണ്ടേ? Let me see. GC also please write down 3 things you studied from this session. കഴിഞ്ഞ പോയ session. Then only I'll start the next session on climate change. That is the last one in this module. എഴുതൂ, പെട്ടെന്ന് എഴുതൂ. After you write down, I'll go to the next topic. I just want to see what all things you have studied from this session. പറ്റുന്നവരൊക്കെ എഴുതൂ what you have studied. There are 48 people right now. Other than me and Nandita, 46 people are there. ഈ 46 പേരും അവർ ഈ സെഷനിൽ നിന്ന് പഠിച്ച എന്താണെന്നൊന്ന് എഴുതൂ. ചെൽസി പഠിച്ചിരിക്കുന്ന പാഞ്ചിയ. ചെൽസി പാഞ്ചിയയുടെ സ്പെല്ലിംഗ് തെറ്റി. നോക്കി പഠിക്കണം കേട്ടോ. രേവതി solar system, Earth's internal structure. Okay, then next person. I'm just seeing whether you are understanding something. അടുത്ത ആള് രേവതി കഴിഞ്ഞു. ഇനി അടുത്ത ആള് ടൈപ്പ് ചെയ്യൂ പെട്ടെന്ന്. ചെൽസി പാഞ്ചിയ. പാഞ്ചിയയുടെ സ്പെല്ലിംഗ് ചെൽസിയും കറക്റ്റ് ചെയ്യണം. പാഞ്ചിയ PANGAEA. Okay. Be careful about the spelling also. Right. Next one. അടുത്ത ആള് ടൈപ്പ് ചെയ്യൂ. Let me see. ഇത്രയും പേരേ ഉള്ളോ? ബാക്കിയുള്ളവരും എഴുതാം. All the 46 people can write what you learned from this session. At least 1 point you learned from this session. No one else? Mariha is absent in this session. Mariha? She hasn't responded so far. Mariha is missing. Aditya, put 1 point. Aditya, Ajay Prakash, Akshay Shastri, Akshayar. Yes, very good. Points are coming. Akshaya studied what is sonics and what is solar system, what is mountain. GC studied composition of Earth. Vishnupriya studied lightning, thunder formation. Ignatian studied geocentric system. Veena also studied geocentric system, solar system, sonics. Samina studied formation of continents and oceans. Deepthi, solar system, sonics. Good, good. Let it come. Quickly put it. Then Aditya studied tectonic plates. Quick. Everybody respond. I just want to see how many are listening to these things which we discuss here. Listening is more important than attendance. Okay. Only this much people. Others are sleeping. Okay, Nawaz Sharif has studied geocentric, solar system, sonics, formation of continents. Fatima has studied formation of mountains, geocentric systems. Deepthi studied solar system, magnetic field, Earth's internal structure. Anupama studied sonic solar system. Kavya studied geocentric system. Okay, Harikishan studied mountain formation, solar system. Sona, mountain, solar system, geocentric system. Amita studied the composition of Earth, solar system, formation of mountains. Sneha studied solar system, sonics. Sri Lakshmi studied magnetic field. Okay. And GC studied geology paradigm. And Sri Lakshmi has studied Earth internal structure, mountains, and tectonic plates. Ushmala studied about mountains, ocean, magnetic field. Sri Lakshmi Vinod about solar systems. Megha TR, geology paradigm, geocentric system. Gogular, solar system. Kirtana, mountains, solar system. Sriramas, solar system. Sonics. Mahindra, solar systems. Sharfana, geocentric system. Megha, solar system, geocentric system. Agash, solar system. Sina, solar system. I'm reading only one. You have written many. Deva Prasad, magnetic field geocentric system. Anandu, formation of mountains and sonics. Okay, very good. So everybody has been activated. Then Shabna, solar system. Why some people are very slow in commenting? Be quick. I told you in the last class. No, I've been principal of 3 colleges at Tirunelveli side. I've seen the difference between those students and you. They quickly answer. That we call as affluence. When somebody asks you something, quickly answering. This quality is required for interview skills. So when somebody is asking some question, don't be hesitant. You may feel that what my friends will think. No, they won't think anything wrong. And Shabana, solar system. Akshay, formation of mountains. Anandu, formation of mountains. Dev Prasad, magnetic field. Okay, very good. Now let us pass on to the next slide. Next topic, which is the last topic in this session. If possible, I would like to finish it. If something is remaining, of course, we will see continuing classes. And our next class is on next Monday only. No? Anyway, let us see whether I can finish off this one. The last part in this module, which is called climate change and greenhouse effects. See the next slide. There is only one source for heat, energy, everything on this earth. There is only one single source, no other source. The entire energy on this earth, the entire light on this earth, you may say that light is coming from electricity. But from where electricity comes? Either from hydropower or from coal power or from oil power. Where the oil and coal or hydropower is coming? Again from the sun. So there is only one and only source of energy or power on this continent, on this earth, and that is what? That is what? That is what? Somebody tell me, which is the only source of energy on earth? Sun, nothing else. Sun is the only source of energy on earth. Would you understand what I am saying? And not small. The energy, how much we say the unit of energy, electronics people and computer science people know that the power we consume, we say in units. How much is a unit of energy? In the Indian system, how much is a unit of energy? 1 unit of energy means how much? What is the power consumption in 1 unit of energy? 1 unit, we say, you know, in your household, you pay the electric charges by number of units. 20 units, 30 units, like that. How much is a unit? Anybody can tell you? It is not horsepower. It's not horsepower. Of course, horsepower is also a unit of energy and power. But the electricity unit is not measured on horsepower. Normally, engine power is... Pardon?
Kilowatt hour.
Kilowatt hour. You are right. Who told that? Kavya has written. Fatima has written. But who told that?
Samina.
I prefer the people who tell that.
Samina.
Samina has told. Of course, I appreciate Fatima and Kavya, but I prefer people telling it out. That's a training for you to speak out. Okay? So if at all possible, you should speak out. Then only you will have the instinct to speak out to someone when necessity comes. Writing, of course, everybody can do. Speak out. So Samina, you are right. 1 kilowatt hour, or simply if you are consuming 1000 watts energy for 1 hour, it is called 1 unit. How much you have to pay 1 unit power? 1 unit power etra kodukandi varum? Etra paisa kodukana 1 unit power? You're all having your household energy meters. In your household energy meter or watt meter, there will be reading monthly, and you have to pay to the Kerala State Electricity Board based on that. Anybody tell me how much you have to, how many units you have to pay every month in your household? നിങ്ങളുടെ വീട്ടിൽ ഒരു മാസം എത്ര യൂണിറ്റ്?
4 point something ആണ്.
How much?
4.50 paise.
5 point. Okay, somebody is saying 4 point, somebody is saying 5 point. I accept all of you. Why? Because Kerala, the electricity rate is variable, varying from 0 to 20 rupees per unit. 0 is for very low income group, where the power, very low income marginalized groups, belonging to backward community, power is free, but very limited houses only. For all the others, power is to be paid. So industry have to pay the highest power rate. So it may vary in between. Okay, it may vary in between 0 to 20 rupees. In normal households, the consumption is less, around 5 to 6 rupees. The consumption is more, it will be more than 10 rupees. I have to pay more than 10 rupees a unit because consumption is a bit more. It depends on your consumption. So, and how much is the solar energy available? 3 meter square of 3 meter square of solar panel can give in 1 hour 1 unit energy. See, 3 meter square of solar. Have you seen the solar panel? Have you seen the solar panel? How many of you have seen the solar panel? Anybody? If you have not seen, we are having 1000 kilowatt, that is 1 megawatt. 1000 kilowatt is called 1 megawatt. 1000 kilowatt solar plant is now commissioned in Ahilya. Construction is almost over. It is very close to the Awach Hospital, Ahilya Women and Children Hospital. So next time, if you go that area, see our solar plant. I think that you must be knowing it. 2 years back, we had the Kairali program. Kairali TV program in that ground. That ground is now the solar plant. 1 megawatt per hour is produced there. Of course, production is yet to start, but work is almost over. That means 1000 kilowatt. For 1000 kilowatt, how many square meter area will be required? In 3 square meter, we can make 1 kilowatt. So 1000 kilowatt roughly requires how much area? Any idea? We are having 1000 kilowatt production capacity there. How much area is required for that? Tell me your calculation. Earth is receiving 0.342 kilowatt per square meter. 0.342 kilowatt or 342 watts per square meter. That means roughly 3 square meter can give you 1 kilowatt. So how much is required for 1 megawatt? So if you go to our solar plant, how much area solar cells will be there? Any idea? Brain is not working. Anyway, it is going to be more than 3000 square meter. More than 3000 square meter will be there in our solar plant, because all the plants cannot have this much efficiency. 342 watts are incident on 1 square meter area, but all that cannot be utilized. So we will have normally more area. So if we need some 3000 square meter, we make some 4000 square meter so that we can operate at full capacity. And the sunlight varies based on the distance from the sun. Which is the planet closer to the sun? The planet closer to the sun is Mercury. Then comes Venus. Then comes Earth. Then comes Mars. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter. Like that. Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, it goes. Jupiter, then Saturn, then Uranus, then Neptune. So as the distance increases, the energy from the sun also decreases. Say for example, the energy from the sun is highest on Mercury. How far is the sun from the earth? How far is the sun from the earth? That distance is known by the name astronomic unit or astronomical unit. The distance of the sun from the earth is called 1 astronomical unit. Any idea how much is that distance? Anybody? How much is the distance of the sun from the earth? Can anybody tell me? Kirti, yes. Any idea, Kirti? How much is the distance of the sun from the earth?
Almost 100 million kilometers.
It is a bit more than that. One astronomical unit is nearly 149 something million, because it is around 8 minutes distance. Sun is 8 minutes away from earth. That means you are getting the sunlight after 8 minutes only. Light takes 8 minutes to travel from sun to earth. 8 minutes means 8 minutes into 60 seconds into 3 lakhs kilometer per second. Okay. So it comes to roughly 150 million kilometers. So you can just calculate it that way. And if it is one astronomical unit from sun to earth, from Mercury to sun, it is only 0.39. From Venus to earth, it is 0.72. And from Mars to sun, not earth, Mars to sun, it is 1.5 astronomical units. So the distance goes on increasing. There is a very interesting novel which says men are from Mars and women are from Venus. Has anybody read that novel? Men are from Mars and women are from Venus. Anybody read that novel? Very, very, very popular novel it is. Anyone among you who read that novel? Men are from Mars and women are from Venus. No one read. Someone has put on the chat box? No, that is only distance. Jaydev, Mahalakshmi, Aditya, Kavya, Aditya, up to Aditya, they have put the distance as 150 million kilometers. It is approximately 115 million kilometers, you are right. This novel, why it is being told that author has chosen the title correctly? Men are from Mars and women are from Venus. Why? Men are more cool. Women are more hot-tempered. Yes or no? That is how that author establishes it. Whether it is true or false, you decide. Whether men are more cool compared to women. I always feel it like that. Men are more cool always. Anyway, you can decide in your life hereafter who is cooler. Okay. Now let us see the next slide. So, out of the radiation which is coming from the sun, that decides the temperature on the earth or simply the climate on the earth. But every planet reflects the light. The sunlight incident on the planet is reflected partially. That reflection is based on a constant which called albedo. Albedo is a constant of reflection. For example, if albedo is 0.5, means 50% light is reflected. If albedo is 0.3, 30% light is reflected back. How much is the albedo of Earth? 0.31. Albedo of Mercury is 0.1. Albedo of Venus is 0.59. That means Venus reflects almost 59% of the light, whereas Mars reflects only 15% of the light. Okay, but Mars has got less solar energy, so even if reflection is less, doesn't matter. So, how much is the incoming solar radiation is remaining? For example, on Earth, if 100 watts light is incident on Earth, 31 watts will be reflected, because albedo for Earth is 31%, 0.31, and 69% will be remaining on Earth. This decides the temperature of the Earth. So if Earth is heating up, there is a reason for it. We will see that later. That is called global warming. But this is a standard. This is a standard incidence rate of rays from the sunlight. What are the constituents of the sunlight? Sun in the rays from the sun. Which are the constituents of the sun rays? Sun rays in the constituents and the What are the constituents? Sun rays, Surya Kiranangal and the Kanulad. Anybody? Aditya has written UV. Only UV is there. UV stands for what? Ultraviolet. You are right, Aditya. Ultraviolet rays are there. Then what else?
Infrared visible light.
Infrared. Who said that infrared? GC. Okay. Infrared rays are there. Then that's all.
X-rays and gamma rays second.
Pardon?
X-rays and gamma rays second.
X-rays, gamma rays. Then the most important part you didn't tell. Yes, visible light. Shibi has written visible light. Rifas has written visible light. Meka has written visible light. Srilakshmi Vinod has written microwave. All these are there. All this together is called the solar spectrum. The solar spectrum will have UV rays, IR or infrared rays, visible light, X-rays, alpha, beta, gamma, delta. All these rays are there in sun rays. But the visible rays is a separate spectrum. That spectrum we classify into an ECNS VIBGYOR. But remember, VIBGYOR stands for violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. But that is not only the visible spectrum. The visible spectrum has got hundreds and hundreds of combinations. But for ECNS, we classify into 7 classifications. And then so many invisible. Infrared is invisible. Which part causes heat in the sun rays? സൂര്യപ്രകാശത്തിൽ ഏതാണ് ചൂടുണ്ടാക്കുന്നത്? വിസിബിൾ ലൈറ്റ് ആണോ, അൾട്രാവയലറ്റ് ആണോ, ഇൻഫ്രാറെഡ് ആണോ? Which causes the heat part in the solar rays? Anyone?
Infrared.
Infrared. You are right. The infrared part is that part which causes heat energy in the sunlight. Ultraviolet doesn't cause any heat, but it can penetrate your skin. It can penetrate your skin, and below your skin there is a pigment called melanin. Below your skin, the skin is colored by a hormone-like melanin called a hormone-like pigment called melanin. What happens is, if ultraviolet rays are incident on your skin will become darker. That is why people in the cold countries are whiter than us, because they don't have ultraviolet rays here. In India, we have a lot of ultraviolet rays coming onto the earth, so our skin will be darker. And if the skin is very dark, it is a disease called melanosis. Some people will have dark patches. In my young days, I used to have dark patches on my skin. So when I went to the skin specialist, he told this is due to melanosis. So the medication is that before you get out to sunlight, you put a cream on your face. Young days I ignored it because I was not that beauty conscious. When I crossed 40, I became beauty conscious and I started using that cream. So nowadays I am using that cream. A very slight, a bit of a cream you can put on your skin when you go out in the sun. And that screen will prevent UV rays falling on your skin. It prevents melanosis and dark pigmentation on your skin. So if any of your skin is dark, any of you are having, at this age you are not that much beauty conscious. You will be beauty conscious later in the years. At that time, if you want your skin to remain bright without dark pigmentation, you can buy now a specific cream is available. 40%, 50%, 60% sunscreen lotion is there. Sunscreen cream is there. The best sunscreen cream available are VLCC and Lakme. 60% cream is available. You can put a bit of it and rub on your skin. Nobody will know that you have put a screen. Every day when I go out in the sun, I am using that. But nobody can identify that such a cream is there. Slight one, around 30-40 milligram of cream will be enough to spread on your forehead, which will otherwise become dark. So I have given a medical advice also. Okay. So this infrared rays, if it is there on their surface, it will heat up the earth. But if they can escape into the outer sphere, if it can escape into the outer sphere, the earth will cool down. It used to escape like that. But nowadays it cannot escape because a thick layer is formed around earth by carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide and such gases. That layer doesn't permit this infrared rays to go back to the atmosphere. So much of the rays which are coming onto the earth remain here, goes to the outer sphere, and these layers reflected back to earth, and the earth gets heated up. That process is called greenhouse effect. So greenhouse effect is the radiation going out of the earth being reflected back to the earth by certain layers around the earth. That is called greenhouse effect. And these layers are basically formed by certain gases. Why this is called greenhouse effect? What do you understand by greenhouse? Anybody? What do you understand by greenhouse? Greenhouse nullande artham endanu? Yes.
Sir, in cold countries, the growing
Pardon?
plants, they have gas.
Right. You are right, Samina. In cold countries, the plants will wilt. Wilt എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ വാടുക. The plants will wilt in very cold condition. Very cold condition, plants wilt ചെയ്യും. അത് വാടിപ്പോവും. അങ്ങനെ വരാതെ dry ആയിട്ട് വാടിപ്പോവും. Say for example, if you keep a leaf in the fridge, it will dry out. It will dry out, and if you take it after 2 days, you will see a dried leaf only. That can happen in cold countries. To prevent that, the garden in the cold countries, they make a glass house. Glass കൊണ്ടൊരു പെട്ടി ഉണ്ടാക്കിയിട്ട് ചെടികളെ അതിനകത്ത് സംരക്ഷിക്കും, so that the plants will not wilt away. These glass houses, they call by the name greenhouse. They are not green, but green is inside them. The plants inside are kept green, but the house is glass only. That is called a greenhouse in the Western countries. So the same effect in greenhouse, what happens? Greenhouse will be hot inside because the plants will be transpiring or respiring, and this respiration and transpiration goes to the glass house, and the glass house will reflect it back. So inside the, for example, if you are wearing a woolen cloth, നിങ്ങൾ കമ്പിളി കൊണ്ടുള്ള ഒരു ക്ലോത്ത് ധരിക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ നിങ്ങളുടെ ബോഡിയിലെ ടെമ്പറേച്ചർ പുറത്തേക്ക് പോകാൻ സമ്മതിക്കില്ല. യു ക്യാൻ ബി ഹോട്ട് ഇൻസൈഡ് ദി വൂളൻ ക്ലോത്ത്. സിമിലർലി ഈ ഗ്ലാസ് കൊണ്ടുള്ള പെട്ടി പ്ലാന്റ്സിനെ ചൂടോടെ നിർത്തും. They will not wilt away. That is why it is called a greenhouse, where the plants can remain green. So the greenhouse effect on the earth is similar to that. Instead of a glass house, we have got what is called a covering made of gases like carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide and such gases. Carbon dioxide is the villainous gas. It is the most important. 99% of the greenhouse effect is due to carbon dioxide. A slight percent only due to methane, then ammonia, then of course even water vapor can cause greenhouse effect. But that's all minor compared to carbon dioxide, because we are making huge quantum of carbon dioxide. So this carbon dioxide forms a layer around the earth, and the escaping temperature from the earth, it will return back to the earth. So the earth cannot cool down. Earth will become hotter and hotter, and this is what is called global warming. So global warming is due to the greenhouse effect of gases like carbon dioxide. So what is the best way to escape from that? So greenhouse effect in global warming in രക്ഷപ്പെടാനുള്ള ഏറ്റവും നല്ല പണി എന്താണ്? What is the best way to escape from global warming? Veena, yes, can you tell me what is the best way to escape from global warming? ഭൂമിയുടെ ചൂട് കൂടി വരുന്നതിൽ നിന്ന് രക്ഷപ്പെടാൻ ഏറ്റവും നല്ല വഴി എന്താണ്? Veena, yes, can you hear me? Veena, ഇവിടെ ഉണ്ടോ? Yes, you are there. Tell me, എന്താണ് ഏറ്റവും എളുപ്പ വഴി? Pardon? കേട്ടില്ല.
Trees, plant here.
Plant more trees. I agree with you partially. പക്ഷെ അതിനേക്കാൾ ഇമ്പോർട്ടന്റ് വേറൊരു കാര്യമാണ്. Who is the villain in this case? Global warming, who is the villain? I told one compound is the villain. What is that compound? Carbon dioxide. Adinte production ange nirthi vecha pore. Yes or no? So it can be controlled by many ways, reducing the production of carbon dioxide, then absorbing the carbon dioxide by carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases by trees. Trees can absorb, but very limited only. So the best way to control the global warming is to reduce the production of carbon dioxide. That is why we have got a concept called carbon neutral concept. Ahilya campus wants to go for carbon neutral, means whatever carbon dioxide we are producing here, we will absorb that carbon dioxide by the plants grown here. That is what is called a carbon neutral campus. So we have to reduce the production of carbon dioxide. You know that in a village near Puducherry or Pondicherry, there is a village called Auroville. Auroville is set up by the descendants of or the disciples of Swami Aurobindo. In Auroville, no motor vehicles are permitted inside. Only battery vehicles are there. Or bullock carts are only permitted. They don't permit any motor vehicles or motors inside. So no carbon dioxide sources let inside. So it's a self-contained village where the carbon dioxide they produce by breathing, etc., they absorb there itself by planting so many trees. So that is the best method for controlling greenhouse gas. See the next slides. Now I will be explaining so many slides on. Of course, one thing you have to remember is land reflects more light compared to ocean. Ocean absorbs more light and ocean gets heated up. Whenever sunlight is incident on ocean, ocean becomes hotter. Compared to land, the ocean becomes more hot. Okay. Then clouds also reflect. When clouds are there in the atmosphere, they reflect light. So the reflection coefficient or albedo is more for the clouds and for the land. See the next slide. We say a planet is a thermally balanced planet if the incident rays can be returned by that planet. How much energy is received is given by an equation. That equation, whether you have heard that equation, it is the Stefan Boltzmann law in thermodynamics. Stefan Boltzmann law, which says that the net incoming radiation is equal to the outgoing radiation, or the net incoming radiation is proportional to the outgoing radiation, and the outgoing radiation is proportional to the fourth order of the temperature. Fourth order of the temperature means, say, one body is 20 degrees centigrade, another body is 50 degrees centigrade. So the 50 degrees centigrade body will be radiating 50 raised to 4 proportion. The 20 degrees centigrade body will be radiating 20 raised to 4 proportion. This principle you can use in your daily life also. For example, you are heating water for taking a bath. Immediately you feel that you are going to take bath only after 2 hours. If you keep that boiled water, it will cool down. But based on Stefan Boltzmann law, can you tell me how to retain the temperature of that water for 4 hours? സ്റ്റെഫാൻ ബോൾസ്മാൻ ലോ വെച്ചിട്ട് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് പറയാമോ, നിങ്ങൾ കുളിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി അര ബക്കറ്റ് വെള്ളം ചൂടാക്കി, അപ്പോഴാണ് തീരുമാനിക്കുന്നത് 2 മണിക്കൂർ കഴിഞ്ഞേ കുളിക്കുന്നുള്ളൂ, അപ്പോഴത്തേക്ക് വെള്ളം അങ്ങ് തണുത്തു പോകും. തണുത്തു പോകാതിരിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി വാട്ട് ഈസ് ദ ടെക്നിക് യു സജസ്റ്റ് മീ ബേസ്ഡ് ഓൺ ദിസ് ലോ? എനിബഡി? സ്വാതിക, ഒരു ഐഡിയ തോന്നുന്നുണ്ടോ? സ്വാതിക, യു ആർ ഹിയർ? ഒന്ന് അൺമ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്ത് യെസ് എന്ന് പറയൂ. യെസ്, സ്വാതിക ഈസ് ഹിയർ. സ്വാതിക, ഒരു സിമ്പിൾ ടെക്നിക്ക് പറയൂ, ചൂടാക്കിയ വെള്ളം പെട്ടെന്ന് അങ്ങ് തണുത്തു പോകാതിരിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി എന്താ ചെയ്യുക? Swadhya couldn't understand that. I told that, okay, this is actually Newton's theory of radiation also connects with Stefan Boltzmann law. ഒരു മെറ്റീരിയൽ വളരെ ഹോട്ട് ആണെങ്കിൽ അത് പെട്ടെന്ന് റേഡിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്യും, തണുപ്പാണെങ്കിൽ അത് കുറേശ്ശെ റേഡിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുള്ളൂ. ബിക്കോസ് ദ റേഡിയേഷൻ ഔട്ട്വേർഡ്സ്, ടെമ്പറേച്ചർ റേഡിയേഷൻ ഈസ് പ്രൊപ്പോർഷണൽ ടു ദ ഫോർത്ത് ഓർഡർ ഓഫ് ദി ടെമ്പറേച്ചർ. അതുകൊണ്ട് 20 ഡിഗ്രിയുള്ള ഒരു മെറ്റീരിയൽ റേഡിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നതിൻ്റെ ഏകദേശം 2.5 ഇരട്ടി 30 ഡിഗ്രിയുള്ള ഒരു ടെമ്പറേച്ചർ റേഡിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്യും. അതിൻ്റെ ഏകദേശം 8 ഇരട്ടി 40 ഡിഗ്രിയുള്ള ഒരു മെറ്റീരിയൽ റേഡിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്യും. കാരണം ദ റേഡിയേഷൻ ഈസ് ഡയറക്ട്ലി പ്രൊപ്പോർഷണൽ ടു ദി 4th ഓർഡർ ഓഫ് ദി ടെമ്പറേച്ചർ. ആർക്കെങ്കിലും ഐഡിയ കിട്ടുന്നുണ്ടോ? കുറച്ച് വെള്ളം നിങ്ങൾ ചൂടാക്കി, അതിപ്പോൾ കുളിക്കുന്നില്ല, 1 മണിക്കൂർ കഴിഞ്ഞേ കുളിക്കുന്നുള്ളൂ, അത് പെട്ടെന്ന് തണുത്തു പോകാതിരിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി അതിന് എന്താ ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്?
സർ അടച്ചു വെച്ചാ പോരെ?
അടച്ചു വെച്ചാൽ അടച്ചു വെക്കുന്ന ഒരു നല്ല സൊല്യൂഷനാണ്. അടച്ചു വെച്ചാൽ കുറെ തണുക്കുന്ന ഒഴിവാക്കാം. പക്ഷെ കുളിക്കാൻ നമ്മൾ സാധാരണ വെള്ളം ചൂടാക്കുമ്പോൾ യു നോ ദാറ്റ് ഫുൾ വെള്ളം നമ്മൾ ചൂടാക്കാറില്ല, കുറച്ച് വെള്ളമേ ചൂടാക്കാറുള്ളൂ. എന്നിട്ട് എന്താ ചെയ്യുന്നത്? അതിനെ നമ്മൾ തണുത്ത വെള്ളം കൂടെ മിക്സ് ചെയ്യും, അല്ലേ? റൈറ്റ്? യെസ്. അപ്പോൾ ഏറ്റവും എളുപ്പ വഴി, നിങ്ങൾ എത്ര തണുത്ത വെള്ളം ആഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നുണ്ടോ അത്രയും കൂടെ തണുത്ത വെള്ളം ചേർത്ത് വെച്ചാൽ അതിൻ്റെ കൂളിങ് അത് പെട്ടെന്ന് തണുത്തു പോകില്ല, ആ ടെമ്പറേച്ചർ. കാരണം സപ്പോസ് ചൂടാക്കിയ വെള്ളത്തിന് 60 ഡിഗ്രി 70 ഡിഗ്രി ഉണ്ടെന്ന് വെച്ചോളൂ, നമ്മുടെ തണുത്ത വെള്ളം പൈപ്പിൽ നിന്ന് വരുന്നതിന് 20 ഡിഗ്രി ഉണ്ടാവുള്ളൂ. അപ്പോൾ നിങ്ങൾ ആ 20 ഡിഗ്രിയുള്ള വെള്ളവും ഈ 60 ഡിഗ്രിയുള്ള വെള്ളവും കൂടെ ചേർത്തിട്ട് ഒരു 30-35 ഡിഗ്രി വെള്ള ടെമ്പറേച്ചർ വെച്ചാൽ അത് പെട്ടെന്ന് തണുത്തു പോകില്ല. ബിക്കോസ് ദ ഡിഫറൻസ് ഇൻ ടെമ്പറേച്ചർ വിത്ത് അറ്റ്മോസ്ഫിയർ ഇസ് ലെസ്. സോ ദി Stefan Boltzmann law says that its cooling will be very low or very slow. Could you understand what I am saying? നമ്മൾ തിയറി ഒക്കെ പഠിക്കുമ്പോൾ we should understand how we can use in practical life. This is one practice which I adopt so that the hot water can be. Nowadays it's not very much required because now we all have got the geyser in our home. അതുകൊണ്ട് അത് സ്വിച്ച് ഓൺ ആക്കിയിട്ടിരുന്നാൽ മതി, ഉപയോഗിക്കുമ്പോൾ ചൂട് പോകില്ല. പക്ഷെ മുമ്പ് അങ്ങനെ ആയിരുന്നില്ല. We used to have boiled water from the kitchen and then used to take bath. Now that system, I think now last 5-10 years, every home the geyser, the hot water machine has become very common. Okay. Now see the next slide. This slide tells about what I have shown in the first slide. How much energy you get on the surface. This I have already discussed. You can see the next slide. This compares the greenhouse gases or the greenhouse effect in different planets. The greenhouse effect is very much on Earth. The reason is, say for example, Venus is having very much absorption. Venus is having good absorption, but and reflection also. Venus has got an albedo of around 0.59. പക്ഷെ വീനസിൽ നിന്ന് റിഫ്ലക്ട് ചെയ്ത് പോകുന്ന തിരിച്ചു പോകുന്ന ടെമ്പറേച്ചർ അത് വീണ്ടും വീനസിലേക്ക് തിരിച്ചെത്തുന്നില്ല. റീസൺ ഈസ് വീനസ് ഡസൻ ഹാവ് എ ഗ്രീൻ ഹൗസ് എൻവലപ്പ്. നമ്മുടെ ഭൂമിക്കുള്ളതുപോലെ ഒരു ഗ്രീൻ ഹൗസ് എൻവലപ്പ് വീനസിനില്ല. ഓക്കെ, ബട്ട് ഇൻ ദ കേസ് ഓഫ് എർത്ത്, ദ എർത്ത് സർഫസ് ഈസ് 34 ഡിഗ്രി സെന്റിഗ്രേഡ് വാർമർ ദാൻ ഇഫ് ദർ വെർ നോ അറ്റ്മോസ്ഫിയർ. അറ്റ്മോസ്ഫിയർ ഇല്ലെങ്കിൽ എർത്തിന്റെ സർഫസ് കൂളായിരുന്നു. കാരണം അറ്റ്മോസ്ഫിയർ ഉള്ളത് കൊണ്ടാണ് ഈ ഗ്രീൻ ഹൗസ് റേഡിയേഷൻ തിരിച്ചു വരുന്നത്. നമുക്ക് അറ്റ്മോസ്ഫിയർ ഉണ്ട്, അറ്റ്മോസ്ഫിയർ ഉള്ളതുകൊണ്ട് the greenhouse gases are there in the atmosphere and the earth is being hot. Now the average temperature of the earth is around 20 degrees centigrade. Average temperature for earth is 15 to 20 degrees centigrade. You take all over the world. Antarctica, Arctica. Average temperature at Palgad is around 30 the year around. But earth totally it would have been below zero if there were no atmosphere for the earth. ഭൂമിക്ക് അന്തരീക്ഷം ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നില്ലെങ്കിൽ ഭൂമിയുടെ അറ്റ്മോസ്ഫിയർ 0 ഡിഗ്രിക്ക് താഴെയാകും. ബട്ട് ബിക്കോസ് ദ ഗ്രീൻ ഹൗസ് ഗ്യാസസ് ആർ ദെയർ ഇൻ ദ അറ്റ്മോസ്ഫിയർ, നൗ വി ആർ അറ്റ് എ വെരി ഹൈ ടെമ്പറേച്ചർ. ഓക്കെ, ദോ വീനസ് ഈസ് ഹാവിംഗ് വെരി ഹൈ ടെമ്പറേച്ചർ ഓൺ ദ സർഫസ്, ഇറ്റ് ക്യാൻ റേഡിയേറ്റ് ഇറ്റ് ബാക്ക് അറ്റ് നൈറ്റ്. ബട്ട് എർത്ത് cannot radiate back at night because only partial radiation back is possible. See the next slide. This shows the climate system of the earth. The sun is giving light to the earth. It falls on the land, ocean and ice, and 69% is absorbed by these things. And a part of that temperature is going down to the earth. 31% is reflected, and out of that 31%, again a percentage is reflected back onto the earth. That is what is called the greenhouse effect. See the next slide. This I have discussed earlier. But here, this slide, what is the importance is, see the elements which are elements or compounds which are colored with a red dot on the left side. Left side is the red dot കൊടുത്തിട്ടുള്ള compounds ഒക്കെ greenhouse gases are. And their density or their concentration on the earth is given. For example, carbon dioxide is 360 ppmb. ppmb stands for parts per million volume. Parts per million volume. Carbon dioxide is 300 to 360 in many parts of the world. It is estimated that by the end of 21st century, carbon dioxide level in the atmosphere will become around 400 plus parts per million. At that time, the temperature of the earth will increase by 4 degrees. What will happen if the temperature increases by 4 degrees? Ipa Palakkad temperature atraya. Yesterday it has gone down because there was rain. Hot summer le Palakkad temperature atra vare aavu. Akshay, can you tell me in very hot season what is the temperature at Palakkad? Akshay,
ഒരു 40-40 മേലെ.
40 മേലെയൊക്കെ വരാം. Last 2 years it has gone up to 42. Kirtana has written 40 to 42, right? Even this year, last week it went up to 42. 42 ഡിഗ്രി ഇപ്പൊ തന്നെ എത്തുന്നുണ്ട്. അപ്പൊ 4 ഡിഗ്രി കൂടെ കൂടി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ what will be the temperature? What will be the temperature? ഇപ്പൊ 42 ഉള്ളത് 46 ആവും. What will be the fate? 42 ഡിഗ്രി സെന്റിഗ്രേഡ് ഇപ്പോഴുള്ള ചൂട് 46 ഡിഗ്രി സെന്റിഗ്രേഡ് ആയി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ what will happen to us? അല്ല ഊഹമുണ്ടോ? Any idea what will happen to us? This 42 degree temperature now itself is very difficult to withstand. Very difficult to withstand. So if it becomes 46, will be unbearable. I had a chance 4-5 years back. My students gave me an award. Alumni gave me an award. That function was in UAE. So I was their guest there for 2-3 days. So they arranged accommodation for me in a very posh hotel. But afternoon I was free on a day and I just wanted to go out. I just went in to the front side of the hotel where I was staying and just opened the door. The moment I got out of the hotel, I jumped inside because my skin started burning. And I asked somebody how much is the temperature there. They said around 50 degrees centigrade. That was in Dubai. That was summer season. 50 degrees centigrade is, your skin is burning. I jumped back. Till evening I never went out. This can happen. So what will happen if the temperature goes to 46, 48, 50? That will be very, very dangerous for us. And all these gases are causing it. Carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, ozone, water vapor. All these are causing what? Greenhouse effects. And to get rid of it, we have to reduce the production of these gases. That is what is required for us. Now let us see the next slide. If global warming, the temperature is going high and high, what will happen? Let us see what will happen if the temperature goes high and high. First thing is, the ice caps will melt. Ice caps, at Antarctic and Arctic, we have got heavy ice caps, ice formation. They are permanently frozen ice. That is why they are called permafrost. Permanently frost. They will melt. And instead of ice, it will be water there. That is very dangerous because all the ocean levels will go. The sea level will rise. The sea level rise, what will happen? Take for example, Kuttanad area in Kerala is below seawater level, just below seawater level. The seawater level is going up, then Kuttanad area will be submerged. Kuttanad area will be below water. So half a district will lose with that. Not only Kuttanad area, some areas in Kannur district and some areas in Ernakulam districts will become below the seawater level. So very dangerous. Pests and diseases will spread. When water spreads to more land area, more diseases can spread, more pests, more pathogens, disease-causing mechanisms can spread there. And ecological impact, because flooding means The land fertility will be affected. The flora and fauna. Flora and fauna means the plants and the animals will be affected. The life cycle of many organisms will change, and the environment of the entire place will change if global warming takes place. So global warming is supposed to be a villain for the very existence of the human being. See the next slide. What is this? Anybody understands this? See that graph? Can anybody tell me what is the top graph? Can anybody tell me what is the top graph? Can you read it? That top graph is average surface temperature rise, and that of course it's uh, numerical values are given on the right end. On the right end, you see that from 1950. Sorry, that is from 1850. From 1850 to 2000, see the temperature vary. The sea level has increased, and the temperature has increased. And the temperature has increased. You see the global average temperature rise is around 13.5 degree to 14.5 degree in the last 1 century. Or simply it means that in last 1 century, the temperature has increased by 1 degree centigrade. But in the next century, how much it is going to increase? We will see the next slide. See the next slide. This is going to be the increase in 1860 to 2000. I told that increase is only less than 1 degree centigrade. But the next graph will show you what is going to be our future. See the next slide. Yes, this one you see. This is what is going to happen. Global projections. These are our expectations. That is why it's called projection. Projection by whom? By the agencies. That agencies' names are listed there. NCAR, MPIM, they are all global agencies. So global agencies predict that by the year 2100, our temperature will increase by around 5 degrees centigrade compared to what is now, 4 to 5 degree. On average, it will be around 4 degree. So this is the danger. This is the danger of global warming. So from what you heard so far, can you tell me what will happen if global warming is permitted to continue like this? Now you are the young generation. After 20-25 years, your next generation will be here. ഒരു 10-20 വർഷം കഴിയുമ്പോൾ നിങ്ങളുടെ കുട്ടികളായിരിക്കും അസറ്റിൽ പഠിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി വരുന്നത്. If asset is staying still there, because we don't know what will happen to the world hereafter. At that time, what will be the changes we expect because of global warming? ഈ ഗ്ലോബൽ വാർമിംഗ് കൊണ്ട് 2040 by the time your children join, or 2045 for a degree course, what will happen to the global condition? എന്തൊക്കെയായിരിക്കും ഉണ്ടാകുക? ഒന്ന് കേൾക്കട്ടെ. What are the things you predict in 2000? Yes. You can put in chat box. What are the things you predict in 2045 or 2050 that global warming is going to bring to you, going to bring to the environment? Nobody has written anything? Yes. Swadika has written wide climate change. 3 to 4 degree change may happen. Aditya has written famine. Yes, if the temperature increases, farmlands may not be good enough for cultivation. You're right. That's all. രണ്ടു പേർക്ക് ഉത്തരവേ ഉള്ളോ? So we have to prevent it. Disease and death rate increase, Sona has written. Yes. That's all. So I have my first assignment for you. ഗ്ലോബൽ വാർമിങ്ങിന്റെ പ്രോബ്ലംസ് ഒക്കെ കണ്ടു കഴിഞ്ഞു. ഈ സബ്ജക്റ്റിലുള്ള എല്ലാവരും കൂടെ ചേർന്ന് ഒരു വീഡിയോ ഉണ്ടാക്കണം. എത്ര മിനിറ്റ് ഡ്യൂറേഷൻ വേണമെന്നുള്ള യു ഡിസൈഡ്. ആ വീഡിയോയ്ക്കകത്ത് ഗ്ലോബൽ വാർമിങ്ങിനെ കുറിച്ചുള്ള മെസ്സേജസ് സ്കിറ്റായിട്ടോ ഡാൻസ് ആയിട്ടോ ചെറിയ ചെറിയ ഫ്രെയിംസേ ആകാവും. കൂടുതലായി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ആളുകൾ കാണില്ല. സോങ്സ് ആയിട്ടോ സ്റ്റേറ്റ്മെൻ്റ് ആയിട്ടോ ഒക്കെ ചേർത്തിട്ട് ഐ വാണ്ട് എ വീഡിയോ ഓഫ് അറൗണ്ട് മാക്സിമം 10 മിനിറ്റ്സ് കൂടുതലാകരുത്, ആളുകൾ കാണില്ല. ഈ ക്ലാസ്സിലുള്ള എല്ലാവരുടെയും മുഖം അതിനകത്ത് വരികയും വേണം. ക്യാൻ യു ഡു ഇറ്റ്? നിങ്ങളുടെ എല്ലാവരുടെയും മുഖം വരണം. 10 മിനിറ്റ് കൂടുതലാകരുത് വീഡിയോ. ആ വീഡിയോയ്ക്കകത്ത് ഈ ഗ്ലോബൽ വാർമിങ്ങിനെ കുറിച്ചുള്ള എന്ത് മെസ്സേജും ആകാം. വി ഹാവ് ടു കൺട്രോൾ ഇറ്റ്. അതെങ്ങനെ കൺട്രോൾ ചെയ്യണം, നിങ്ങൾക്ക് അതിൽ എന്ത് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും, സ്റ്റുഡൻസ് അതിൽ എന്ത് ചെയ്യണം, കോളേജ് സ്റ്റുഡൻസ് എന്ത് ചെയ്യണം, സ്കൂൾ സ്റ്റുഡൻസ് എന്ത് ചെയ്യണം. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് മൈ ഫസ്റ്റ് അസൈൻമെന്റ്. ഐ ഡോണ്ട് ലൈക്ക് ടു ഹാവ് assignments copied from the textbooks or something. I want your creativity. This is going to be നിങ്ങളുടെ എന്തെങ്കിലും ഒരു കോൺട്രിബ്യൂഷൻ ആ വീഡിയോയിൽ വരണം. അതിൽ എഡിറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ അറിയാവുന്നവർ എഡിറ്റ് ചെയ്യണം. At the end of that video, all the 53 names of all the students in this class should be written in that video. And I will be publishing that video on the YouTube. Can you do it or not? ഒരു 10 മിനിറ്റ് സമയമൊന്നും ഞാൻ വളരെ സ്പെസിഫിക് ആയിട്ട് പറയുന്നില്ല. I leave it to you. I know you are all very creative. Why I am so strong now is, ഞാൻ വിഷുവിൻ്റെ വിഷുവിൻ്റെ തലേദിവസം രാവിലെ നമ്മുടെ കുറച്ച് കുട്ടികൾ ഒരു വീഡിയോ ഉണ്ടാക്കാൻ പറഞ്ഞു. Some 10-20 of them joined and made a video. Within half a day they made the video. So I give you 1 week time. ഈ 1 വീക്കിനകത്ത് നിങ്ങളൊരു വീഡിയോ ഉണ്ടാക്കുക. All these students together. 2-3 പീസാക്കിയിട്ട് കമ്പൈൻ ചെയ്താലും കുഴപ്പമില്ല. Can you do? How many of you say yes, I'll do? I want to see yes or no. ഒന്ന് പോസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യൂടെ എത്ര പേരാ വീഡിയോ ഉണ്ടാക്കുമെന്ന്. ആ വീഡിയോ എഡിറ്റിംഗ് അറിയാവുന്നത് കമ്പൈൻ ചെയ്യണം. ഐ വോണ്ട് ടു സീ എ വെരി ഗുഡ് വീഡിയോ ഫ്രം ദി സ്റ്റുഡൻസ് അറ്റൻഡിങ് ദാറ്റ് സെഷൻ ഓൺ ഡിസാസ്റ്റർ മാനേജ്മെന്റ്. നിങ്ങളുടെ ഐഡിയ അതിൽ കോൺട്രിബ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്യുക. ആ ഐഡിയ സ്റ്റേറ്റ്മെന്റ് ആകാം, പോസ്റ്റർ ആകാം, വീഡിയോ ക്യാൻ ബി എ കൊളാഷ്, വീഡിയോ ക്യാൻ ബി എ ഡാൻസ്. കോളേജിൻ്റെ ഒക്കെ വരുന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ കോളേജിന്റെ മുന്നിൽ നിന്നുകൊണ്ട് വേണമെങ്കിൽ ഒരു മിനിറ്റ് ഡാൻസ് ചേർക്കാം. ഇറ്റ്സ് ഓൾ അപ് ടു യു. വിൽ യു ഡു ഇറ്റ് ഓർ നോട്ട്? ഐ വോണ്ട് yes or no right now. ഇല്ലെങ്കിൽ വേറെ അസൈൻമെന്റ് തരും. Our time is almost getting over. നിങ്ങളുടെ റിപ്ലൈ കണ്ടിട്ട് I want to stop. 1 more minute only. Please put in the chat box how many of you feel yes for this activity. ഇപ്പോൾ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഒരു എക്സാമിനേഷനും ഇല്ല. You are quite free. ഇടയ്ക്കിടയ്ക്ക് ഹോളിഡേയ്സും കിട്ടുന്നുണ്ട്. So this is something. And that video, your name also will be there. Wherever you go, you can say that I also contributed to that video. Okay. വീഡിയോക്കകത്ത് എൻ്റെ കൂടെ ഫേസ് ചേർത്തോളൂ. ഞാൻ സെഷൻ എടുത്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്ന ഏതെങ്കിലും ഒരു 5 സെക്കൻഡ് or 10 സെക്കൻഡ് എൻ്റെയും കൂടെ ഫേസ് ചേർത്തോളൂ. So that I will also become a part of that video. The session I am teaching you. Okay. എൻ്റെ റെസ്പോൺസ് ഇല്ല. ക്വിക്ക് റെസ്പോൺസ്. അത് ഞാൻ ഓരോരുത്തരെ പേര് വിളിക്കണോ? നിങ്ങൾ എസ് പോസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ ഓരോരുത്തരെ പേര് വിളിക്കണ്ട. അതർവൈസ് ഹാവ് ടു. ഇതിൽ വീഡിയോ എഡിറ്റിംഗ് അറിയുന്നവരാരുണ്ട്? ഹൂ ഈസ് ദർ ഹൂ നോസ് വീഡിയോ എഡിറ്റിംഗ്? ഹൂ ഈസ് ദ പേഴ്സൺ ഹൂ നോസ് വീഡിയോ എഡിറ്റിംഗ്? ദേ കൻ കോർഡിനേറ്റ്. പറയൂ, വീഡിയോ എഡിറ്റിംഗ് അറിയുന്നൊരു CSC ആരാ ഉള്ളത്? CSC ഉള്ളതാരാ? പറയൂ. Those who know video editing? അറിയില്ലേ? Quick. Sina, you are in CSC? Sina?
Yes, sir.
You are in CSC? You are in CSC, no?
Yes.
നിങ്ങളുടെ ക്ലാസ്സിൽ ആരാണ് വീഡിയോ എഡിറ്റിംഗ് അറിയുന്നുള്ളത്?
അറിയില്ല സർ.
ആരാ? അഭിനവോ?